I'm Mark Tweddle. Welcome to another episode of You Tell Yours Stories, where we share with you stories from our storytelling classes, as a podcast and on YouTube. Learn more about our classes, both online and in Burbank, California, by visiting YouTellYours.com. This is episode 19, and this week's story is from Jodi Cooley, reminding us not to underestimate the unbridled joy of impractical footwear.
Ever since I was a little girl, all I ever wanted to do was wear high heels. I don't know where it came from. We didn't have any in the house. My mom didn't wear any. All she wore were Keds. We didn't have any fashion magazines, any fashion TV like you see today. Don't really know what the influences were. And when we got dressed up, my mom either wore Keds or orthopedic shoes, so it didn't really make any sense. So I don't know where my fascination with high heels came from. We lived in rural Ohio when I was younger, and it was an adventure to go to Kmart every couple weeks. And when we would go to Kmart, I would always ask to hang out in the toy department. And I would look at all the toys and play with and fantasize. I would play with all the toys that my mom wasn't going to pay for. And one day when I was there, I looked up and I saw the most beautiful pair of plastic dress-up high heels. They just had to be mine. And it seemed like they were talking to me. They were like, psst, psst, Jodi, get us. And I reached up and I got them and I took them down and I gently opened up the package and I took the heels out. Oh, they were these beautiful pair of, well, the heel was a pink fluorescent block that looked 4 inches, but I know it was about 2 inches high. And it had these black straps with rhinestones on them. And I had to put them on. And when I put them on, they felt so good. And I stood up and I felt so classy. It was heaven. And I looked around the corner and I saw my mother. And I said, Mom, can I have these, please? She said, absolutely not, they're a trip hazard. You're gonna fall and hurt yourself. They're flimsy things, get them off. We moved around a lot growing up. And no, my father wasn't in the military. It was a heavy layoff business. So I went to a new elementary school every year. And the last place we lived was a town called Rockledge, Florida. It's the Bible Belt. And if you watch Cops today, you might be able to find it on Cops. And I was about 11 years old, and I used to walk home from school every day. And there was this shopping plaza on the way home that was called the Village Green, which had a Liggett drugstore, a Winn-Dixie shopping mart, a Granny's Donuts, and a TG&Y discount shopping store, which was affectionately known as to everyone in town as trash, gunk, and yuck. Well, inside TG&Y, they had a shoe department. So on my way home from school, I would stop off into the shoe department and I would put on the high heels. And I'd walk up and down the aisles with the heels on, and it was one of my favorite things to do after school. And then one day, as I was there, it was like this bright light came down and was shining on this one pair of magical shoes. They were beautiful. They were about 4-inch high mules. They looked like the ones that Olivia Newton-John wore in Grease. You know, when she went from good Sandy to bad Sandy. They were so sexy. I really needed these shoes, and I was bound and determined that I was going to get these shoes. So I saved up money over a period of time, and then finally one day, on my way home from school, I bought the shoes. And I got the shoes home, and I put them on, and I loved the sound of the clicking and the clocking, and the slapping against my foot against the heel. And of course I did all this so my mom wouldn't see this happening, and it just felt so right. And when I was done wearing them, I hid them in my room, so in case my mom, although she wouldn't go in my room, you just never know, would find the shoes. So when I moved to Los Angeles years ago, I was a massage therapist. And I did massage therapy before massage therapy is what it is today. And I would go to people's homes, and I would be carrying this big massage table along with this bag that had all my massage tools in it, and a boom box, and a pair of high heels. And my clients would look at me, and they were nervous. And they said, "Are you sure you're going to work in those? You're going to be a trip hazard in those." I said, I was born in high heels. I can do anything in high heels. I wore high heels so much that my husband thought I was taller than he was. For the longest time, until one day I had my shoes off, and he looked at me and he said, "I'm taller than you." About 13 years ago, I saw the most fabulous pair of stiletto mules in Bloomingdale's. And I had to have them. I had no place to wear them, but I had to have them. And I bought the shoes, and luckily my friend called me and told me she was getting married in Hawaii a few months later. So I had a pair of shoes to wear. That's where I was going to wear them. And so when you go to a wedding in Hawaii, it's going to be outside. So I walked down the sidewalk in these beautiful stiletto heels. And then we were to walk on grass. Now, most normal people would take off their stiletto heels because they're going to dig into the grass. But not me. I knew how to wear high heels. I knew how to walk in high heels. Those shoes were not coming off of my feet. I will suffer through the grass and with those high heels on. So a couple days later, my husband and I went to the airport. They had to check our luggage because it tested positive for chemical TNT. So they went through our luggage, and they went through everything, and they found my stilettos. And they wanted them, and they tested positive for hazardous chemicals. Going to explode, which was from the fertilizer from the wedding. And I just told the ticket agent it was because the shoes were dynamite. About a year or so later, I had given birth to my daughter, and I was standing at my crib her crib, and had her in my arms. I had this fabulous pair of platform clogs. They were fabulous. And so as I'm cradling her in my arms, and I'm staring at her and oohing and eyeing, my legs collapsed underneath me, and I fell to the ground. And fortunately, neither one of us were hurt. Unfortunately, it was the start of my diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. So, MS is a tricky disease because there's about 15 different or more symptoms. It affects no two people the same way. And when you have physical ailments like I have, you get a lot of unsolicited advice. Strangers are always giving you information that you just don't ask for. But they mean well. They really do mean well. And actually, the other day I had someone say to me, "Tiger Balm." You tried Tiger Balm? MS is spectacular pair of shoes. it's works either way, with MS, with shoes. People ask me if my MS hurts me physically. I say, no, it doesn't hurt me physically. It hurts my ego because I can't wear high heels. Mm-hmm. My physical therapist said to me, you really should start walking with a walker. You're a trip hazard with that cane. I smiled at her and I said, I've always been a trip hazard.
Hope you enjoyed Jodi's story. Our storytelling techniques are a practical way to help you get yourself heard. Head over to YouTellYours.com for details of our classes and events both in Burbank and online. You can listen to this as a podcast at podcast.YouTellYours.com or find it on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe either to the YouTube channel or to the podcast. You can email me at mark@YouTellYours.com if you have any questions or requests. Thank you for listening or watching.